A controversial smell once again making waves, or shall we say wafting through the river valley, and tonight the state wanted to hear from those affected. It all stems from a lagoon cleanup project that a recycling company out of Russellville manages. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer takes us to a public meeting hosted by the Arkansas Division of Energy and Environment, where people were ready to air their grievances.
Smell that often fills the river valley, it's not exactly roses. In fact, locals describe it like this.
It smells like rotting flesh.
The smell comes from a lagoon operated by Russellville-based Denali Water Solutions, which repurposes food processing waste into fertilizer for nearby farms.
It's protein that's produced by these facilities. That's what we're gathering for them so they can maintain their operations. And then we do store it, and then we also land apply.
The company has applied for modifications to its permit. It wants to add land to the operation. But these residents say it's a hard no. They say it's impacting their quality of life and even businesses.
It's entirely unacceptable. The effects of this are harmful to our residents. It degrades the air quality. It makes it where people can't go outdoors.
The stench has drifted far beyond the Arkansas River bottoms. Sebastian County Judge Steve Holtz says.
I'm always for economic development. I know businesses end up with waste product, but there's got to be another solution, something that's not so detrimental to the rest of the community.
Nancy St. Pierre with Denali says they're listening and trying.
We are very empathetic, and we get it, we understand. And we do have plans that we've had in place for a while and have been slowly putting into place. And we're going to do everything we can to remedy the situation, but also maintain an operation.
But back at the community center, people just want answers and a breath of fresh air.
We just feel like something needs to be done to eliminate this.
In Crawford County, covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
Last year, a lawsuit was filed on behalf of some Fort Smith residents over that strong odor in the area. Anger boiling over as well tonight as the city of Arcoma faces a steep hike in sewer rates. Starting in June, Fort Smith is raising its rate on their neighbors to the west by about 350%. People, though, in Arcoma warn the hike could push utility bills to $400 a month, a bill they cannot afford. Fort Smith argues it lost more than $700,000 last year by charging the lower rate to Arcoma. But across the state line, people are worried their water and sewer services might actually get shut off.
How are we going to pay the bills if they shut off our water and let our city die? What happens to the people that owns their home? Who's going to buy my house so that I can move somewhere where I can get water? How much is it going to cost for me to build a well and put in a septic system? Am I going to haul buckets of water from the Poto River?
Representatives in Arcoma were hoping to speak at Tuesday's board meeting in Fort Smith, but they say they were denied the chance to do so. Fort Smith's board says the rate alignment is necessary, arguing that people in both cities should be charged the same amount. Well, that decision has now left Arcoma exploring contingency plans, including evacuation measures for its nursing home and school system if services are cut off. More charges being filed against a man accused of scamming storm damage victims out of repair money after last year's Memorial Day tornado outbreak. Austin Lamb is already facing charges of theft by deception in Benton County. Now another victim has come forward in Washington County. Prosecutor Dennis Dean says a woman filed a complaint in January claiming she gave Lamb a check for $8,600 to buy roofing material. She says, though, he never fixed the roof and instead spent large amounts of money on personal purchases.
Some concerns after she paid him the money and couldn't hear from him that his spending had kind of increased and he was basically living beyond his means, kind of a lavish lifestyle, spending money on things that she didn't think, based on his business, he would be able to have the money for.
Before the May 2024 tornadoes, Lamb had already been a felon on probation after serving a prior sentence. This past March, he was arrested for 3 counts of theft by deception in Benton County for allegations he scammed people of roofing services last June. Family of Brian Malinowski is filing a wrongful death lawsuit against the ATF. You'll remember Malinowski was the director of the Clinton National Airport in Little Rock when he was shot and killed by agents serving a search warrant on his home last year. That warrant stemmed from an investigation alleging he bought and sold more than 100 guns without a license. Some of those same weapons later turned up at crime scenes. Local prosecutors ruled the shooting justified. The lawsuit, though, from Maria Malinowski also claims the raid violated her constitutional rights. Developing today, the world's largest retailer warning that trade tariffs will soon be leading to higher prices. Executives with the Bentonville-based Walmart made that announcement today. They say to expect price increases that started in late April to accelerate to offset the impact of trade tariffs, which are at their highest levels since the 1930s. Walmart executives told analysts they're doing everything possible to absorb costs, but see the price hikes as inevitable given the size and scope of these tariffs.
They didn't spell out too many specific items at this stage, but they did say that we're going to see more markups than normal during the second quarter. And it then begs the question, like, what are we going to see throughout the rest of this year?
Walmart began raising prices last month and picked up the pace this month. Company says customers will feel a bigger sting this summer when they go back to school shopping. Director of the Veterans Healthcare System of the Ozarks is retiring. The VA announced that Dr. George Velez stepping away from the federal service. He has served as director since 2023, overseeing healthcare facilities in 3 states that delivered healthcare to more than 60,000 veterans.
It's amazing the work we do in the VA to provide specialized care to these veterans, understanding they have different experiences. What binds all the veterans is their sacrifice and service to our nation.
Prior to leading the Veterans Healthcare System of the Ozarks, Dr. Velez was deputy director of the VA Hospital in Puerto Rico. One of Washington County's election commissioners announcing plans to resign from the position. Max Deichler announced today he is stepping away. He first joined the commission in 2014. In 11 years, he says he believes there is work for him to do at the state level.
I've seen a lot. I've been in a unique experience over the last 11 years serving on the Washington County Election Commission to see how elections run and to see the issues that voters face. And I've experienced every single election cycle. There are hundreds of ballots that the commission has to toss out that they can't accept because of a technicality, essentially, with Arkansas election law.
The Election Commission also met today to start the process of reviewing provisional ballots cast in last week's special election. Provisional ballots are provided when a voter cannot provide an acceptable form of ID at the voting site, and they need extra verification.